Hello again, my loyal followers, and welcome to part two of your well-deserved two-episode weekend special. Since you've likely been keeping a watchful eye on the second half, I couldn't help myself but choose to judge today's movie, Watcher. The 2022 Shudder film, directed by Chloe Okuno, is a suspenseful thriller that stars actress Micah Monroe as actress named Julia. She moves to Romania with her boyfriend Francis, played by Carl Glusman. Francis's job requires him to move to Romania in the first place, and while his Romanian is mostly pretty good, Julia is still trying to learn the basics. When they first move out, Julia notices a man in an apartment across from their building staring out his window. At first, she shrugs it off, but the strange man's appearances at the window become more and more common. To make matters even creepier, she discovers there's a local serial killer called the Spider who decapitates women, killing them. And as Julia discovers she's probably being stalked by someone, suspicions start to grow over whether her strange watcher and the Spider might be the same person. Okay, I cannot hold this in any longer. Call me this film stalker, but I love and admire and crave its direction and scares. The scenes where Julia is watching for her stalker and trying to evade him are shot with long, eerie, and suspenseful takes. I especially love the scene in the grocery store where the camera moves gently as Julia watches for who else is in the store with her and how close her stalker is. Heck, most of the time you don't see the suspect's face, and the uncertainty is what makes Julia's situation even more haunting. There's tons of shots where the camera sits still on one shot for a while, and you're bracing yourself for whatever may creep out. I think this movie needs to be studied in filmmaking classes because its choices in direction and thrills are wonderfully crafted. However, one frustrating part about the story, which I'm pretty sure is intentional to be fair, is Francis, Julia's boyfriend. At first, he seems fine and even a little boring, but the more Julia grows afraid, the more he becomes dismissive of her claims, and at times he even makes fun of her a bit and says she's overreacting. I wonder if this is close to how many women feel in situations where they feel they're being marginalized or even in danger. Sometimes the movie's message feels a bit too obvious in terms of what the characters say, but the movie wonderfully serves it up bittersweet at the end. At first, I thought it was kind of pointless to have a movie primarily made for English audiences set in Romania, a country where it's not the major language. I say that because a lot of times in the movie, it's spent waiting for someone to translate a speech or sentence to Julia from someone speaking Romanian, and for the most part, I don't see how the language difference contributed to the story. But I guess since both Julia and most of this movie's audience is pretty unfamiliar with the language of Romanian, I think it can add to the feeling of more isolation and fear for Julia, having less people to rely on. I even think it can be a cool allegory for showing a victim's fears and situation not getting across to most people. The same way a different language someone speaks wouldn't get across to most people in a country that speaks a very different language. This movie had excellent delivery and scares, directing, and a good message to go with it. Because of that, I'll give this movie 8 spider legs. And no, neither that grade or pun are intentional. Or maybe they are. It's my show. So that's my review of Watcher. Did you agree or disagree? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below, slay that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you next weekend. This is the Film Reaper, watching out for you. Also, have a terrifyingly terrific day.